So I just had a bath, and I was experimenting with testing the stability and the constantness of my self-presence here. And what I was doing was crouching in a pod-like shape on my knees in the bath and submerging myself and floating there. And I had the temperature just so that it was very neutral, and so there was a minimal distinction between the edge of my skin and the water. It was basically just the motion of me in the water. And it's interesting because I was just doing that, and within doing that I realized that when I was trying to figure out why I was focusing on stopping thoughts, and as I would submerge, I would be floating there, and I would just look into the blackness of my eyes being closed and just be that presence and the blackness, and just sort of sink into that blackness. And there are no pictures, there's little sound, and it was interesting because then I put my hands over my face like this, and I just touched my face with my palms. And it was just me and the touch of my hands against my face. And then as I came up out of the water, I opened my eyes, and immediately there is all this stuff to see and hear. And what I realized in doing this many, many times was that who I am is literally simply that self-presence of, regardless if there are there's nothing to see, nothing to hear, it's just me floating. There's no bodily image awareness, being naked in water, floating there. You're not conscious of your bodily presentation. It's just me there, and I was touching my face, and then I came up out of the water and touched my face again, and it was the same me presence touching my face there as I was underwater, and yet there was just the added images and sounds. So really, how can I define myself as what I see? How can I possibly look around me at all these images and sounds and hear the sounds and say, I am of these pictures, when simply within submerging myself underwater with eyes closed and sort of getting rid of that picture presentation, self-consciousness, and getting rid of the images, it's just me there. It's me there, and I touch my face there. It's me and touch. So I just found that interesting because because then, it's interesting to observe what stimulates thoughts in this eyes open picture experience of myself. And why is it that when I'm silent with eyes closed, then, what about that experience of myself stimulates me to think, stimulates thoughts? And I found that to be an interesting experiment to test the consistency of my self-presence here. And it's really interesting to notice that it really is just me, and what is here is my touch and my breath. And when the pictures are removed, I'm still here. So therefore, how am I possibly able to delude myself into thinking that who I am is defined by what I see? If I am still here when the pictures are removed and the sounds are removed and my self-image is removed and it's just me underwater with my presence of myself within that blackness, I'm in there. I'm in that blackness. I am that blackness, that nothingness. So I guess that's all I have to share for the moment. So that's my experiment with testing the consistency of and the constant, whether my self-presence is constant. Enjoy.